The PBA certainly has its share of superstars. But this year, the young guns have begun to make some noise. Which of these PBA stars will tame the tough animal patterns? We find out next as the PBA Fall Swing on CBS Sports Network starts now. Detroit is one of the nation's top bowling towns. We're here at Allen Park and historic Thunder Bowl lanes for the PBA Fall Swing on CBS Sports Network. Today, it's the Wolf Open. Doherty Simonson, longtime vet, and the youngster, head-to-head. For Austin, Texas, the two-hander gets us started. And makes a two-pin. PBA, December 2013. Hard to believe, only 19. Takes care of his single pin spare conversion.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this 32-foot oil pattern breaks down today, Dave. One of the things that players have really battled with throughout the Wolf Open is the wet-dry condition.
15-year pro, Tom Doherty gets it going with a strike. Perfect spot in that 1-3 pocket. Let's check out our lane conditions here, Randy.
32 feet in length, this oil pattern, extremely dry to the outside part of the lane. A little bit of oil left. And most of the players using urethane equipment and staying away from the reactive stuff. Urethane obviously is going to be much smoother reacting. Tom Doherty going with urethane. However, Anthony Simonson deciding to use reactive early on.
Good start for Tom Doherty. Looking for his second career PBA Tour title. Also won in 2012 Bowlers Journal Scorpion Championship in Vegas.
You can see him just feeding it out to the outside part of the lane there, just right of first arrow. And that ball reaction there is kind of old school. Back when we used to use urethane. That's all we had.
Back to the key. Referee, power bowler, ball speed, impressive, blasting through that 1-3 pocket.
In our opening matchup, both players not using their thumb. One does it with one hand. This young man does it with two. But as you can see, he's using reactive resin. He's going to be farther left than Tom Doherty, and you can see just how much more down lane reaction there is when using reactive versus urethane.
Dave, Randy, our entire crew. Ted Lewis from suburban Detroit. Looking for help on the 10-pin, not this time for Simonson.
He is light in the first frame on that lane. This ball does get to the pocket, but it gets there late, coming in behind the head pin and leaving that soft 10. Youngest player ever to win a major.
Has his mark, 19 years, 39 days. Previous record held by Mike Albee, 1979 PBA World Championship. In Vegas, 19 years, 83 days. And Anthony certainly embraces that history in our meeting with him yesterday. And appreciates what he's been able to accomplish at such a young age.
And there you see the arsenal, the black hammer with a hook potential of 3.
Doherty looks to and does. What a start for Tom Doherty. Time for the track tech talk.
Unusual style by Tom Doherty. Doesn't use his thumb, but look at the long push away. Very late timing, short backswing, but the great power because he has to uncup the wrist at the bottom of the swing. Just watch how deliberate this push away is. Most of the modern games nowadays, the power players, they get the ball into the swing very early. Watch how late this is. Oh,
wow. Comes in way high, looking for the front four, and now has to deal with a very difficult spare conversion attempt.
Yeah, the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. This looks pretty good until about right there. Breaks loose and goes through the face, and he pays for it. He's going to now try to get the ball to the right side of the 3-pin and throw it over into the 4-7.
Tough one. Can't convert. 4-7 stands. So the open frame after the perfect start for Doherty in his third TV appearance of this season. Masters in Indy, TOC in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Finished third there. Lost his opening match to Wes Malott at the Masters. He's had a good year. Back to the kid.
And there you see,
over there.
Right, but there you see just how sensitive this oil pattern can be, Dave. Even though there's dry boards to the right, if the bowling ball gets there too early and with too much hit, it's going to go sideways, and it's exactly what happens here.
Throws a 15-pound ball. Told us yesterday the touch would be so important on this oil pattern. The two-hander relies on feel and power. And missed the pocket.
It actually looks like he moved further right, gets the ball farther right on the lane where the friction's supposed to be, and that ball actually labors and goes light, leaving the 2-4-10. So it looks like he keeps chasing it right, and the ball's not hooking more.
Challenging spare conversion. 2-4-10, no. 10 stands, open frame. So the exchange opens, Randy, keeping things very interesting here.
Well, Anthony had a chance to take the lead if he would have struck in the 5th. Instead, it's an open frame, and now Tom Doherty steps up here on the right lane with the lead.
Messenger, and the 10 Rat wiggles and stands for Tom Doherty.
Was that another animal reference?
Yes.
Watch the Messenger head pin goes to the sidewall, goes in front, gives the 10-pin a look, but doesn't catch enough of it.
Tom Doherty, Riverview, Florida, Tampa area. Lifelong Floridian, has that 10-pin. He owns and operates the Hall of Fame Pro Shop, Royal Lanes in Lutz, Florida. We talked about the great season. He mentioned that yesterday, Randy, in our interview, that yes, been great to make TV and in a couple of majors, but it's time now to deliver on television, win for the first time in 4 years.
Well, quietly having the best season of his career. And I think you're exactly right, and so is Tom, and he now has to start cashing in. He's 41 years of age, and his youth is behind him. Make no mistake about it, this is a young man's sport.
Kind of like that.
Pretty good looking shot.
A little ugliness early on here, Dave, with the oil pattern transitioning. But Tom Doherty's managing it okay. Last 2 balls in the pocket after the big split in the 4th. Spare here, and he will maintain a 12-pin lead.
Ten-pin conversion. Doherty, Simonson, the veteran and the 19-year-old youngster head-to-head. It's a great match so far from Allen Park, Michigan. Look at the headquarters of General Motors, banks of the Detroit River, the Renaissance Center Nearby downtown Detroit, 12-pin lead for Doherty. Moments ago, Anthony speaking with Jimmy Callahan, his Storm Tour rep.
You got to get it to the friction on that.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the left lane. My ball reaction is okay.
Yeah, for the right lane, it didn't get there.
Yeah, no, the right lane didn't get there. But it's the left lane, I can't get it to read off of it.
Yeah, the left lane, you got to get it to the friction.
Because I mean, I feel like I'm.
Like you say, if you missed in, it's going to hook, and if you're long right, it's going to not read it. So
Yeah.
you got to get it.
Sounds to me like a lot of confusion right now for Anthony Simonson.
So how does he overcome that?
You're asking me?
Yes. You won 13 titles. You're in the Hall of Fame.
I think he has to. I think the right lane's okay because he knows it's going to hook back on that lane. It's the left lane that's the issue. He keeps getting it to the spot on that left lane and it's not hooking. So there's the spot, there's the friction there. But when he gets to that same spot on the left lane, it doesn't hook. Problem is if he moves too far right and goes too straight and gets to that spot, it's going through the nose of Brooklyn again. There's a look at his arsenal, the rocket ship. Remember, Tom Doherty's was 3.0, the rocket ship 6.0. And that's the difference between urethane and reactive resin. This is going to be a very interesting shot here for Simonson on the left lane.
And the youngster responds. Nice break, hit on the 7-pin. And back-to-back jacks in the 6th and 7th for Simonson to keep things very interesting.
Well, this ball was leaning on the edge. You can see just how far right that was. And then look at this pin carry. 7-10, the last two to go down. 6 goes to the sidewall, takes care of the 10. Not sure what hit the 7-pin, but there was a lot of action.
Response, Doherty. Nice.
Yeah, and this is where it gets frustrating for Doherty because the last 3 balls all in the pocket, and all he has to show for it are all 9 counts. Right now, Tom Doherty looking like the patron saint of bad carry.
Working on a spare. Has another spare. It's a tight match. Wake up with the jolts as the outspoken Craig Carton and former star quarterback Boomer Esiason team up to bring you all the latest from around the world of sports. Boomer and Carton, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Love me some Boomer Esiason, man. I loved watching him play.
Those guys are great.
Loved watching him play for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Carry.
And a carry, yes, Tom. Big strike. In the 8th frame. Neck and neck match.
Yeah, 1 pin match, but Simonson can take the lead now with a strike here in the 8th frame.
Looks for the turkey. Anthony told us he did know before his major championship that he would be the youngest ever. And he's embraced that. Young star on tour. Whoa! Channel. Oh my goodness.
And that couldn't have happened at a worse possible time. We've seen gutter balls throughout the week on this pattern, and it gets right, and it gets right quick, and it goes in.
An 8-pin count, so really tough frame for Simonson. He was right with Tom Doherty, stride for stride until that disaster in the 8th frame, and now he's down by 25 pins. And on the bench, Doherty sees that lead expand. Now, can he finish? That's going to be the question when he steps up in his foundation frame.
Well, he's all but gift wrapped match number 1 to Tom Doherty. Lack of ball reaction, and it forces his brain to tell to his body to throw it to the right. After he throws it in the gutter, guess what? He's not going to throw another one in, so he gets it a little inside of target, and it's just not going to grab. I think the move for Simonson was to throw a stronger ball. If he's going to play the line that he's playing now, I think he needed something stronger. The other option is going to something weaker and moving right. But right now, he looks like he's trapped in no man's land.
Chris Barnes, 18-time titleist. Next up, as a 3 seed. Solid shot, 4-pin for Tom. Relatively easy single pin conversion coming up. To inch closer to the victory here in match 1.
Needs to fill frames here in the 9th and 10th frame, and he will shut out Simonson. Uses his thumb on spares, but not on the first ball. Good spare shooter as well.
Very interesting approach, certainly, with his ball grip.
Right now, what he's looking at, Dave, is he's trying to figure out a better way, a more consistent way to the pocket for his upcoming match.
Looking ahead, and it's Chris Barnes. Formidable opponent, despite back surgery from last year. Locked future Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes. Tom Doherty has wrapped up the match.